Meanwhile at home, Luca and Alberto wake up from where they slept at night. They're startled to find that they've been caught by dew, so they've transformed into fish. After seeing Giulia open the window, they jump down from the tree. As they're running, Giulia's father enters the house. They run to hide in the tree and shake themselves until they transform back into humans. Giulia's father calls them to go to the lake to fish, and they head there. On the way, an old man named Thomas tells Giulia's father that he will encounter sea spirits, but Giulia's father tells Thomas, "Don't worry, I have enough weapons, so I'll fight them." Then later, they fish but don't catch any fish. But Luca suggests that they know areas where there are fish. After taking them there, they return with plenty of fish. As Giulia returns from the market, she's surprised to see they have enough fish, and Giulia's father says, "Your friends know how to fish." Giulia's father gives them money for registration for the bicycle races. On the other side, Luca's father and mother enter the town of Portorosso. They encounter a young man sitting and eating ice cream. They push him into the water to see if he transforms into a fish. When they see that he doesn't transform, they run away, leaving him crying. On the other side, Giulia, Luca, and Alberto have come to register for the Portorosso races. The organizer of the event is explaining the rules of the games when suddenly a call enters to register with his team. Later, arguments break out between Giulia's team, Luca and Alberto, and Akal and his team. Akal threatens them and greatly disrespects them. In the end, they manage to complete their registration. Later, during practice, Luca reaches a steep downhill area which he's afraid to descend. He's surprised to see Akal appear and descend that area without even holding the handlebars of the bicycle. Luca is amazed, but Giulia encourages him that they will beat Akal. When Luca tries to go down, he has an accident. Later, we see Giulia, Luca, and Alberto at the lake. On the other side, Akal and his team are watching them with binoculars. Akal comes very fast with his boat. When he tries to cross, his boat splashes water on Luca and Alberto. Luca avoids the water, but it splashes on Alberto. Alberto transforms into a fish. Seeing this, Luca pushes Alberto into the water. When Akal looks at the boat where Luca and Alberto are, he sees something like a fishtail at the bottom. As Giulia is shaking Akal's boat, Luca returns Alberto to their boat. Later, they are seen leaving and running away from the lake. On the other side, Luca's parents are still looking for him. After arriving at a place, Luca's mother finds many children playing ball. She comes up with the idea of hitting one child at a time so they'll jump into the water, and whoever turns into a fish will be her son. After hitting them all, she discovers that her son isn't there. When night falls, Luca tries to tell Alberto that he saw people during the day who looked like his parents, but Alberto denies it. Later, Giulia enters and joins them. At the same time, her father says he needs help inside and calls Alberto. So, while Luca and Giulia are exchanging ideas, Giulia asks Luca why they need a Vespa. Luca says because they want to be able to go anywhere in the world. He says, "We will drive all the way to that big fish," meaning the moon. Later, Giulia tells Luca, "You know that's not a big fish, it's the moon." Luca is shocked because Alberto told him otherwise. Later, they go straight to where the binoculars are. Giulia shows Luca the things in the sky. Giulia also explains to Luca about the existence of planets. After looking through the binoculars, Luca sees one of the planets. His thoughts take him far away, as if he has already entered the planet. He and Giulia are enjoying themselves there. Later, we see Giulia and Luca in the room. Giulia continues to teach Luca about various issues of world geography. When Alberto enters, he finds Luca and Giulia happy. Alberto becomes jealous and calls Luca to leave. Later, they went outside. Luca began to explain to Alberto everything that Giulia had taught him about the sky, and also that what's up there isn't a big fish, it's the moon and stars. But Alberto refuses to believe it. Later, Alberto took Luca to a room that has a Vespa. While they were there, Luca tried to share with Alberto the idea of going to school like Giulia does, but Alberto got angry and told him, "No, we can't go there because we are sea fish." While they were there, suddenly Akal and his group appear. Akal says they saw something like a tail in the water, so there's something they suspect they're hiding. Beyond that, Ical also wants them to leave that city immediately. After a small argument, Luca and Alberto decided to run away and return home. Life continued. Luca and Alberto sleep and wake up, eating at Giulia's home. Luca's parents try to continue looking for him, using their method of pouring water so that any child who transforms into a fish must be their son. Meanwhile, at Giulia's house, Giulia's father loved Alberto very much because he was big and strong, and Giulia loved Luca very much because he was gentle, curious, and younger. Early in the morning at dawn, Luca, Alberto, and Giulia are riding bicycles. Suddenly, Luca's parents see him passing by, so they start chasing him without success. Suddenly, a train passes by which Giulia takes to school. Luca asks what that thing is. Giulia tells them, "That's a train that goes to our school." Luca asks, "I was wondering if your school accepts everyone?" Giulia says yes, not knowing that these are fish. Upon hearing news of school, Alberto continues to hate even more. Later, Alberto interrupts the conversation and tells them to focus only on the races. Giulia is surprised to see that Alberto is angry all the time. Alberto decides to take the bicycle himself and lets go, going straight down the hill at high speed with Luca sitting on the back, going straight until they fall into the lake. After falling, Ical and his companions see from afar using binoculars and prepare to go check to know what fell into the lake. While underwater, Luca and Alberto hear Giulia calling them. They decide to emerge on the other side. Having come out of the lake, Luca tries to tell Alberto that he wants to go to school, but Alberto seems angered by this situation. Luca tells Alberto, "You're afraid because you know you can't do well in school." Alberto becomes angry and they start fighting. Then Giulia arrives and hugs them both together, not knowing that they are fighting. Suddenly, she's surprised to see each of them sitting on his own side. Luca tries to share with Giulia his idea of going to school. Giulia agrees, but Alberto says, "We are fish people." Giulia laughs, thinking it's a joke. So Alberto decides to show her that he is a fish person. He immerses himself in water and emerges. Giulia is afraid. Seeing that things have become difficult, Luca says, "That fish person is Alberto." Ical and his friends arrive and start throwing spears at him. Luca and Giulia return home. Giulia's father asks where Alberto is, but they tell him he has left. He decides to go look for him. Luca appears confused and starts talking to himself. Giulia, seeing Luca talking a lot, pours water on his hands. She's surprised to see that he too is a fish person. Giulia is shocked. Seeing that his identity as a fish person has been revealed, Luca decides to leave Portorosso and go straight to where Alberto is. Alberto is angry and doesn't want to talk to Luca. Later, Luca climbs to the top of the tower with great sadness. Alberto tells Luca the truth that he had been living here alone because his father had been killed by humans many days ago. But he didn't tell Luca. Luca tells Alberto that he's going to compete again to get a Vespa. He leaves Alberto and returns to Portorosso. As he's about to start the competition, suddenly Giulia appears and asks him, "What are you doing here?" But Luca says he wants to compete and get a Vespa. Luca looks for metal clothes to cover himself so no one will see that he's a fish person. The big youth also enter to swim. Ical pours oil on him so he can slip easily. While they're swimming, Luca walks under the water because his clothes are very heavy, but small fish attack the big youth because of his oil. When he comes out of the water, he cries a lot. Later, it's the noodle eating competition. Whoever eats quickly first will start the bicycle race. Giulia is first, but Luca is the last to finish eating. While on the way, he meets his parents who stop him, but he passes them. On the way, Ical continues to harass Giulia. Suddenly, Luca passes Ical and is in the lead. Just after being in the lead, it starts to rain. Luca begins to transform into a fish, so he thinks it's better to rest somewhere. Alberto comes running holding an umbrella. Ical slaps Luca. As he's kicks Alberto. Alberto falls down and the umbrella falls far away. Alberto transforms into a fish person. Ical calls his friends. Ical takes a net and catches Alberto. Then Luca gives himself up for his friend. He runs very fast and transforms into a fish person. All the people are amazed. He grabs Alberto and puts him on the bicycle. Then they start running. Ical takes a spear from his friend and starts chasing them. Giulia also follows them from behind. They run very fast toward the lake. As they approach the lake, suddenly Giulia collides with a call. Giulia falls down. Luca sees it's better to stop the bicycle and save Giulia. As they're leaving with her, people have gathered with spears, but Giulia's father knows these young men. He says, "These are not fish people but Luca and Alberto, and Luca is the winner in these races." After the referee looks, he says it's true, Luca's bicycle crossed the line, so Luca is the winner. Ekal insists on saying that even if they are winners, they are fish people. All the people leave them. Ekal is left alone. Ekal's friends carry him awkwardly and throw him into the water. Luca's parents go to hug their son. After Luca's victory, they were very happy. There are these grandmothers who are also fish people. Later, they remove umbrellas from the side. People are surprised that they too are fish people. When Luca's mother went to eat, she's surprised to find her mother and Luca there. She says she usually comes every weekend to the human city. The movie ends. We see Giulia heading to school. While returning home, Luca and Alberto and Luca's parents decide to take Luca to school. As the train is leaving, Luca says goodbye to Alberto. The train ends while Alberto is waving goodbye to Luca. Make sure you're subscribed and have that notification bell on, you won't want to miss it. Thanks again for being part of the journey. Let's keep it going. See you soon.